Hello MVP users, this is the Power of Data video for our most recent update to the dashboard. This is going to help you gain insight and intelligence because you don't know what you don't know. And running a business, any other industry has very detailed numbers, and they know their numbers, they know how to market, where the best conversions are at. But unfortunately in the insurance business, there hasn't been much technology breakthrough to help mom and pop shops like us figure out how to continually improve our marketing until now. So let me show you how to gain insight and intelligence from your data. The very first disclosure is that if your staff or yourself are not using the system properly, this is why we coach you and we send you report cards every week. If you're not using it properly, you're not going to collect the data to then do this next step. So please make sure you manage from your sales activity section and ensure that your staff are constantly using MVP properly. That being said, what you're going to do is you're going to search the longest date range since inception of the account, and then you'll search and it will populate everything that you have in here. So I've had MVP running in beta form back in August 2016 all the way up until now. We have 2,800 quotes between a couple of producers, almost 1 million sold premium, and 3,600 premium quoted. So once this loads, it might take it a minute to load for you. What you need to do is then start from the bottom and open up each producer. If you start from the top, you have to scroll a lot. So just start from the bottom up for each person. And this next step is really important, so please pay attention. What we're going to do now is copy all of this data and paste it into Excel. First thing you're going to do is start at the first prospect's name and then let it scroll quickly down the screen. When we get to the bottom of the last person, it's pretty easy to tell because you're going to run into the graphs. Do not let go of your mouse because we're copying and pasting. And this is the next important step for it to work properly in Excel. Okay, so what you have to do is stop in between details, let go of your mouse, and you can either right click and copy. I love to do Control C. So now I've copied. I'm going to now bring up Excel and open up a new workbook, highlight the entire sheet, and then paste. I'm going to get a warning saying this data is not the same size. Hit OK. And then it's very simple to clean this up. First thing I'm going to do is insert and shift to the right. So this prospect's name's fixed. Then I'm going to highlight the entire sheet, click Wrap Text until it does that. And then double click on this line in between B and C and watch what happens. It makes it fit for everything. And then there's going to be a couple of columns that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. Column A that's blank. I'm also going to get rid of the space here for my tags. I'm going to get rid of P and Q, which are sent and viewed quote comparison. You might want to keep that if you want to prove to yourself how amazing our quote comparison increases closing ratios, because it's pretty apparent. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete the details link that's not functional. So let me show you now how you can gain some intelligence from this. I'm going to make it fit on one screen here. Shrink down that. So we're going to highlight the entire page and then sort and filter and do a custom sort. This is how you can organize and sort your data pretty quickly. First thing I want to find out is I want to get my zip codes. Where am I competitive? Who am I competitive with? What's my closing ratio in that zip code? And so on. So the first thing I'm going to sort by, because I want to find out by zip code, that's my first thing that I'm going to sort by, which is column K, zip code. Then I want to find out, okay, what's my average savings, which would be column J. Then I'm going to find out what credit scoring, L. Finally, E, which is premium sold. When I hit OK, it's going to reorganize everything for me. Now, it's very simple. I'm going to open up a new sheet and call this my zip codes. And then what you do is we got 75022 Notice what I'm doing here is I'm going to ignore these zip codes because I don't have enough data for those yet. So I'm just going to paste this zip code. The next thing I want to find out is how many quotes have we done. So I'm going to highlight this, and at the bottom of Excel, it adds it up for you. So 9 is my total count. And then what I want to look at is my credit scoring. I'm sorry, I want to look at my average savings. I highlight all the fields, and because I have a little bit of data, I'm okay with this number, negative 140. If I had only 2 numbers there and both were positive, but the other 7 were zeros, you don't really have enough data yet to give you any intelligence. But this is pretty, I would really wait until you have maybe 15, 20 prospects to get an accurate. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt anytime I see 9 next to an average savings. Then what I'm going to look at now is, okay, what type of prospect is really working out in this zip code? Here we have somebody unknown. It's unfortunate. I wish they would have filled that in. But we have a preferred person that's, and then look, we have a standard from an internet lead where we saved them $740. So that's pretty cool. So what I would do here, my biggest savings is on a standard client on home, or sorry, auto was a big savings. On home, I mean, we're pretty, neck and neck. So what I'm going to do here, whoops, is say standard plus. So I know anytime I buy leads or go after leads in that zip code, if they have an okay credit score plus, it's great. If they have a non-standard, then it doesn't look that good. Make sense? And I'm going to show you how this is actually, some zip codes have non-standards that are doing really well. And that will tell you that other competitive carriers aren't really taking rate for bad, or took a lot of rate for bad credit, and farmers didn't. Okay? Then the next number I want to look at is what's my closing ratio. I'm sorry, premium sold. Highlight this. Shows that I've sold 3330. And then what I want to do here is my closing ratio. You can do sum, and notice that I closed 2 people that sold premium household out of 9. So I'm just going to do 2 divided by 9. And you can format the columns to be percentages. I don't like decimals. 22%. So then I take these zip codes and I paste it into here. We put zip code, number of quotes, average savings, credit, premium sold, closing ratio. And that's a trick, by the way. You can double click in between like we did on the other page, and it makes it as wide as it needs to be. And then, guys, you just do it the next one down. So I got 75023. I only have 2 people in that zip code. I don't like it. I don't want to do that. 75028. Here's another one. Let's show you one more here. So how many quotes do we have from the zip code? We have a total of 9 quotes again. And then let's take a look at average savings. Negative 553. Then we're going to look at the creditworthiness. Check it out. I have a non-standard and a standard, but we didn't close them, but we're doing really well on home. So Farmers is competitive on homeowners insurance. Notice this one on the home for this preferred, which means if it's $5,000 in premium, I guarantee you that's a massive house. We have a non-standard we closed, we have a preferred we closed, and we have non-standards and standards that we're competitive with. Guys, what this tells me is that I don't have enough data. Notice this preferred person has an auto, so I bet you this is a teenage driver with an auto claim, and I bet this one's also a teenage driver with an auto claim. See, I have my claims section over here. So what I can tell you is that a non-standard with no claim is competitive. This is a hot zip code. I need to go after this zip code and start doing more quotes from this zip code. And it really doesn't matter, other than the fact that in this zip code, if they have a teenager with a auto claim, we're going to get our butts kicked. And I think that's pretty relevant for any zip code right now. If there's a teenage driver, Farmers is just not competitive. So when I go buy leads, I make sure that drivers are over 25. I make sure there's no claims on file, and I will buy any lead from this zip code. So this one is non-standard plus. And you can even make yourself notes if you wanted to at the end here. So what I'm going to put over here is no claims. And that's about it. All right. Premium sold. We got 4,007. And my closing ratio is going to be the same. So if you wanted, you could just paste it. I don't know why that did that. Highlight. Paste. So I'm going to do that for each of my zip codes. And now I have some intelligence and insight on what I'm doing. You can also figure out what your ROI is on column M. You can highlight it, sort and filter, custom sort, get rid of these levels. Add for column M, which is my tag, and then do E, which is premium sold. And now you can see if you properly tagged it. Here's an example, call in. This must have been a long time ago. This is not an appropriate tag. I want to know how they heard about me so that this would have been sorted properly. Cold call is not a good one for me. Current client, is it a cross sell? So even we have bad tags, except for customer referral. We don't really do anything special when customers refer people. So I can see out of the last year and a half that we sold 34,000 in customer referrals. EverQuotes, Farmers.com, here's a big one. I can see we sold $30,000 off Farmers.com. So you can truly look at the tags and what your ROI is. Something else that might be a little eye-opening for you is column N and then column E. Here's what I want to show you. You can figure out, like that's how many people it took to call 4 times. We sold 42,000 in premium. When you called 5 times, we sold 29,000 in premium. We called 6 times, we sold 25,000 more in premium. 7 times, 31,000 in premium. 8 times. I hope this is ringing a bell for a lot of you, because if your staff give up, look at how much premium they would have given up on. I mean, it's kind of really eye-opening to be able to see that if my staff call in between 10 and 20 times, we're still going to get, 100,000 in premium. Granted, a lot happened on the first try, which is great. Shows me my staff know what they're doing. But again, this is just some insight where you can figure out what's working, what's not working, and getting some intelligence into your data. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, Todd at agencymvp.com. I hope this is eye-opening for you. And if you need any help, Todd at agencymvp.com. Thanks.